Hey guys, I'm not used to making videos back to back like this, but this one was too important to me not to share, and I definitely want to get it documented for myself. And before I get into it, I kind of want to have a little bit of I don't want to say backstory, history on it. So I've told you guys over again, I fight with the light and the darkness, trying to, I don't use religion or anything to base what I choose to share on. I use discernment, I use the leadings of the Spirit, and ultimately morality. What does it serve? Sometimes I go on faith. Sometimes I share experiences because I hope that it could be a catalyst out there to help somebody that might be struggling with something similar, such as my demonic attacks and things like that, so people can know that they're not alone. There's, whether you want to call them demons, archons, whatever they are, they go by many names, but it's still the same spirits, the same devices, the same mechanisms. It's mentioned in a whole bunch of different belief systems. Anyway, so there's been many nights now, and the most recent one was I've been arguing about this for years now, where I was literally yelling at something in my telepathically. I don't know if it was, but I was mad, and I was like, "This is bullcrap," you know. I'm sitting over here. I'm seeing darkness all over the place. I'm seeing these shadows. I'm seeing everything else, but the only time I can ever see light is in the corner of my eye. I'm like, how is that fair? You want us to sit there and believe and have faith and follow the light, but why is it so easy for darkness to reveal itself to you? But light is so far away, it feels. You want me to remain positive and share these things, but I'm over here seeing nothing but constant darkness, it feels like. And I was like, it's so weird, and almost, I think I was like even fake in a sense, that I'm over here seeing shadows and things like that, like right in front of me. Transparent beings and this, but the light, it's always in the corner of my eye, and I'm just like, this is so weird. It makes no sense to me. You're telling me that a shadow, an archon, a demon can literally manifest enough to show itself to me with the dark energies and whatever else, but angels got to be sitting there in the corner of my eye. I was like, that makes no sense. And I was like, I'm so tired of this. I feel alone. I was like, I don't feel like anything's being done. And then I was doing that, different sayings, different wordings, different complaints for the last couple of years as I'm fighting with this stuff off and on. And last night, for some odd reason, I was sitting on my computer and I decided I was going to drive to the store and go grab me a drink. I'm gonna try to do some music on Smule to try to just decompress and calm my nerves, and just, I felt I feel the leadings of the Spirit, and I tend to follow. I started to read. Like I don't read not over like all the time, because if I'm just sitting there doing it to do it, then I miss things. But if I'm following the leading of the Spirit, I'm actually like, yo, I want to do this today. I feel led to do this today. Then I'm more keen to find the little key details than missing something important that I might regret later on. And so that's why I take little stops from here and now, and I just kind of meditate on what I've learned, and I just think about it, and I experience, and I learn other things, and then I continue on. I got a lot more books I'm going to read. I'm still not completely done with the Avesta yet. I still have a complete book, the Avesta I showed back in the past, that I will read eventually, but it's not next on my list. The next thing I'm going to read on my list is probably the Egyptian Book of the Dead. And then I'm probably going to end up leading into the Gnostic Gospels eventually. If there's little smaller books in between there, like maybe the Kabbalion and stuff like that, I might read those first. That way, when I do get into something bigger and heftier that's going to take a while, I can get the smaller stuff knocked out first and kind of get those in there. Because I know 100% fact that some of the Bible stuff is in the Egyptian Book of the Dead. So, and like my whole point of this, I'm not trying to destroy your religion, make you question things. What I'm trying to show you is the bridges that have happened over time and why I changed my cover and stuff like that. God didn't create religion. God sent messengers to share very similar messages that it got indoctrinated and corrupted by man over time. So that's why I've chosen not to be religious. Jesus was not religious. So if you don't agree with me, that's okay. Anyways, back to what I was talking about. As I walk outside, I walk out and I take a step on my my stairs. I look up, and for a minute there, I see the orb. But I don't have any glasses right now, so it's kind of blurry, And I'm looking up, and I swear up and down I see it move. And I'm like, I'm just looking and looking and looking. And then I start seeing full-blown images. The orb literally manifests. I can't say like spiritual manifestation, at least to me, okay? To me. It manifested where I literally saw 2, 3 spiritual beings formed from these balls of light that were just kind of just moving around the skies. And it was so real to me that I felt like, I was like, hey, come over and see this. And look up, and they would see it. But I was like, but then I was like, I gotta find out if this is real or I was like, is this in the spirit or is this real? Because that's how confused I was. It was almost as real as when I saw when I told you guys about the video where I saw the star with all the lines pointing at it. It was like that. I was like, yo, this is like real. So I think I walked inside real quick and I grabbed my phone and I was like, I'm gonna try to record this and see if I can actually see it in real life or in the spirit. And so I brought my phone out, I looked at it, and I couldn't see in the spirit anymore for some reason. I don't think it wants to be recorded. But I'm holding my phone up to it and I see the ball of light, but I don't see the visualization. A few times I thought I might have saw the orb like jerk out of my phone screen, but then I'm like, maybe it was just my hand, maybe my hand was accidentally moving a little bit because it was hard to hold it still. And maybe it made it seem like that. But that's not the end of it. So I'm sitting there watching that for a while, and I'm like, I'm just like, I'm kind of getting overwhelmed, because I'm like, I don't know what's taking place right now, but this is like turning into one of the realest things that I've seen yet. And right after that happens, I see Yeshua. Yes, I think it was Yeshua. Very sentient. It was not a vision, okay? He was walking. He was just kind of walking back and forth, and he was like doing different motions to prove to me that it was not a vision. I saw a hand wave at me, and I was almost, I was like, I'm getting overwhelmed because I'm so used to seeing nothing but these weird visions, and I didn't know what to think about it. And then after I saw that, this image, I don't even know how to describe it, started coming from the sky, and it came straight to me in like this light reddish pink, and I believe it was like a vision or like a telepathic projection. I don't know what it was, but it was like sentiently speaking to me, and it was this being that I didn't recognize, and it told me, I chose you to reveal the true me. And that's all I'm going to say on the information that I was given. After that, there was a lot of different questions and things that I asked the angels, which I'll get into in a minute. As I was sitting down, I was sitting down pondering, and I started like what was that I just saw? What was this? I start seeing right in front of me and behind me these rainbow blinks. And I'm like, whoa, what was that? I was like, is that a firefly at first? And I was like, no. And then I realized I was asking a bunch of questions, which I can't go into the questions. I told them I would not. I don't want to mess up things to come. This is kind of information I have to hold to myself. But what I will tell you is that I was sitting there and I saw a bright light behind me pretty much the majority of the time. And as I was asking these different beings questions, I was asking them, what do you prefer to be called? And I was like, are you Izadas? Are you Devas? Are you angels? When I said angels, they flashed up a minute. And I was like, okay, but what is the true name of the angel or something like that? And it told me it's been lost through time. And that's, anyway, there's a lot of other questions I asked, but I'm not going to go through any more of them. And they were flat, as I was asking these questions, and sometimes I wasn't even asking questions. I was just like, is it like this? Is it like this? Is it like this? I was just like making statements. And the things that they seemed to agree with, I would see clear flashes of light, like they were acknowledging what I was saying. There was a couple times where it wasn't just like a flash of light. I literally saw the light go like around me, like an angel literally ran past me, blinked for a second, and then just kind of ran back. And then I saw another one that he was, after we were done talking, I was just kind of sitting there for a while, and then eventually one of the angels told me, basically, you know, it's been nice talking to you, but I have to go. I have work to do. And I saw the light start going back up into the air, and then it showed me a vision at the same time of this, I believe it was like a feminine angel that went back up into the sky. And I sat there for a minute, just thinking, and I looked around, and I still saw some transparent beings that were just like sitting there like ninjas, like they were just listening to me. And I was sitting there talking to myself, and they spoke to me a little bit more about different things, and I was asking different things. I didn't really get very many more answers, but it was just, it was nice knowing, you know, they were there. After that, eventually I told them that I was going to get out and go grab a drink. I was like, I originally came outside to go grab a drink and do some music, but this has been way better, you know. I was like so like overwhelmed with the fact that I could truly see angelic light in front of me. It wasn't in the corner of my eye. It was blinking in front of my face to answer me. And like I said, let God be my witness. I know what I saw. It sounds impossible, sounds crazy. I get that, but I've been wondering what the light is. I've been wondering, and I was like, are you guys, I've even had, you know,